Welcome to Metal Band's Chronicles, where metal lives. That's right, you know what? We're coming at you with an album review. We're entering the world of underground death metal here. I'm talking about as underground as you can get because this band's not even signed yet. A band that's been around for roughly 4 years, formed in 2018. I'm talking about Sadistic Oppressor with their second full-length studio album, which came out last December of 2021. I'm talking about Omen of Atrocity. Omen of Atrocity right here. Like I said, the sophomore album following their debut, Blessings of Terror, which I have here. Trying to get all that glare out there. Anyways, yes. So pretty much what you get here is an 8-song affair. And I believe this would be the first release with a full band lineup, because Xavier did all the stuff on the debut album, production and everything, and all the instruments. So yeah, you get a lineup here for this album. I'm pretty sure it's still the same lineup. Anyway, so the lineup is, and by the way, a correction here, this album came out on December 7th of 2021 last year. Anyways, lineup-wise, you get Xavier Dudas on guitars, vocals, and he does all the lyrics. You get Charles Field on guitars and composing and mixing. You get Matt Walker on bass. And you get John Loftus drums, backing vocals and composing. I hope I didn't butcher that last name. So yeah, this was produced and recorded by Charles Field. And obviously Xavier wrote all the music and lyrics. So yeah, going into this album, man, I definitely think it's an improvement over the debut album, where the debut was just pure rawness. You know, this one's still extremely raw. I think the mix is a bit louder on here, you know, which is cool. For the debut, it seemed a little quiet, but this one definitely has a good mix. Definitely a great follow-up, in my opinion. Like I said, you get 8 tracks here, roughly around 40 minutes long. I forget the actual time of it. But yeah, let's get into the tracks. Okay. So it opens up with Mausoleum of Torture. You know, a short little 3-minute and 34-minute track here. Just fast, ripping. You know, it's got some pretty cool solos in it, you know. You get the fucking high-pitched screams of Xavier at the beginning of this track, which sound very haunting, almost terrifying at times, you know, when you hear that scream just come in. Ripped to Shreds, a bit more technical, a bit more lengthy too, at 6 minutes and 40 seconds long. You can really hear like a Ripping Corpse influence on here, maybe a Demolish type of influence. You know, I hear a lot of very early Sepultura on this too. Very Morbid Visions like, very Bestial Devastation like. Just, you know, with the rawness, you know, of the playing on here too. But anyways, this track, you know, yeah, it's got some pretty cool time signature changes on here. You know, a bit progressive, I guess, in spots, but still really heavy and really technical and pure death metal. The Curse of the Scorn is an instrumental track, which is really, really cool. I actually really like this one. It's freaking raw as shit. Very evil sounding. It's like you're marching into the depths of hell, you know, when this track comes on, you know. The guitar solos are quite wicked on this one, man. Kind of psychedelic sounding, actually. Yeah, like the guitar tone and solos on this really kind of have a 60s vibe to it. It's weird. That's kind of what I'm getting, like Old Cream or something like that, mixed with just brutal death metal. But cool stuff. KTSP, which I'm not really sure what that means. You know, it's the next track, another just ripping, old school sounding death metal track, you know. Just killer shit, you know. Nothing more to say. It's just freaking awesome. Blood Clotted. Now, Blood Clotted, this one, yeah, it kind of reminds me of early Cannibal Corpse. Like on Butchered at Birth. It's got that vibe to it for some reason, you know, in this track. But obviously, with Sadistic Oppressor's own twist on this track, obviously. But yeah, I can really hear early Cannibal Corpse on this track. Brutal, just pounding, fast, just relentless fucking old school death metal here. Creatures of the Reborn's quite interesting. This one, I would say, is easily the darkest, most sinister track on this freaking album. There's a section in this track where it slows down. It gets very atmospheric. You get some clean guitar parts. And it's so freaking dark. Literally terrifying sounding. It's just really dark and creepy and really cool sounding. So this is a really cool track to me. I think it's the highlight of the CD, to be honest with you. Between this and Rip to Shreds, really cool tracks. So the next track is Shredded in the Meat Grinder. Again, just old school death metal sounding. Kind of has that ripping corpse vibe to it, just fucking ripping stuff. Absolutely incredible. And just raw playing on this one. Then you get the title track, Omens of Atrocity, to end it off. Easily the shortest track on the album. Yes, at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Great way to end this freaking album. Just another fast pounding track, with some pretty heavy fucking riffs and some good solos. So yeah, you can definitely tell there's no fucks given about the mainstream on this record. It's very raw. It's very primitive sounding. This sounds like it easily could have came out in the beginning of death metal back in 1985 or 86. Along the lines of bands like Possessed, Death, early Sepultura, Sarcophago, bands like that. Just really raw, primitive sounding stuff. Indeed, I guess you could say Autopsy too. You could throw Autopsy in there. That's kind of the vibe I get. It has that early death metal feel to it. It's just raw and primitive sounding, Like I said, there's no fucks given. This is not mainstream sounding. It's not freaking meant to be mainstream. It's a big fuck you to the mainstream as far as I'm concerned. This is just death metal played the way death metal should be played. Anyways, what score would I give this album? I give it an 8 out of 10. I definitely think this band's going to improve as they progress into the future. And I'm looking forward to a lot more music from this band, And knowing Xavier, I know he's diehard and dedicated to death metal. This dude lives for death metal. And you can hear it in the music. Anyways, before I leave this review here, go to Bandcamp. Check out Sadistic Oppressor. Purchase the CDs. I believe he has shirts up there too. Check his Bandcamp out. Yes, go check out Sadistic Oppressor on Bandcamp. And before we leave too, we're going to check out a Sadistic Oppressor track to leave this review. So we're going to check out the track Mausoleum of Torture. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, here we go.